Hey guys, um, we have an update, and if you guys have a little bit of time, stick with us here.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna start from the beginning.
yeah,
So, I know that we just got back from our family trip. Our family trip was more of celebrating the graduations and the birthday of one of our nephews.
birthdays of two of our
Birthdays of two.
nephews.
Thank you. Wow, so much has happened. Wow. And we were celebrating with family, and we wanted to be there with them and everything, and it was a great time. And a lot of the recent collection that Kuma has put up has been kind of categorizing what we did and everything while we were out there. And what we want to tell you is that there was a lot that was going on with us before and even after that trip that initially we didn't want to talk about on camera because we know how people can be, and we've dealt with years of people throwing shade at us and looking for reasons to make us look like we're bad people, and just having something to say negatively. We talked about it in our film, we talked about it in our articles, and we're at a point now where both of us came to the consensus of wanting to tell you guys what's going on.
Yeah.
So, taking a little bit of a trip back to October of last year, we were given the opportunity with our apartment complex to actively move into a larger unit, and that would give Joy the space that she needed specifically to do more development and more creativity and things of that nature with her brands and things like that. And it gave me the space to have the production sound and equipment space that I needed so that I can also work on films as well as having my overnight job, because I do work an overnight job.
And also, on my side, I had a call center job I had just been hired on for and was about to go through training for while we were transitioning. So, take note of that.
Yeah. So the apartment was great. I mean, we had pictures and videos we put up. We loved it, except we had one big problem. Our neighbors upstairs are extremely rowdy and extremely loud. And we're not talking about average living noise. We're talking about rock rolling and brick throwing contests every night and day, all throughout the day, and even late into the night.
It sounds like they're bouncing a bowling ball upstairs, and I'm not exaggerating. That's literally how hard it sounds. I've had things fall off my walls from how hard they're hitting the floor. And I know they have small children, and I understand how that can be, but also you got to do something, especially when you have not just us, but your neighbors surrounding you complaining about you.
Yeah. And we've been recording our ceiling, both audio and video, since October and telling the front office what's going on. At one point, the front office even told us it was a low priority situation. I began sending emails letting them know that, hey, this noise is causing us to have issues with our production. And side note, the front office is aware that we do a lot of stuff in the dance world, as well as they're aware of our film, because we filmed several of our scenes here when we had our movie that just came out that's currently on PBS.
It's actually one of the first things we told them because we wanted to make sure we got a floor unit, first floor, so that if we were dancing up there, we wouldn't actually be causing any issues to anyone around us.
Yes. And hence the reason why we were sending the notice about, hey, this is going to start affecting our income, because now we're dealing with not being able to get audio and video projects done. And, Kuma's dealing with, you talked with the people. What did they tell you?
Which one?
When you had your call center job, what did they say specifically to you?
So essentially what they told me was that the ambient noise that they could hear through my speaker on the headphones that I had was too loud, and that I would not be able to work in a quiet environment, or rather in an environment that they require the type of quiet for me to go have these calls. So, and I lost that job. And mind you, I got that job specifically so that we could move up.
Yeah. And I know, like, when we had the car issue last year, I actually got a job working overnights helping stock a grocery store. A lot of people don't know that, I work jobs. I do still work jobs, but our primary jobs are still working in the industry. And there's nothing wrong with having a second job. I just never felt like it was important to just tell everybody every single thing that we're doing. But yes, we are definitely working, and we are actively doing everything that we do in the community, usually off of our dime, and then having the support we've had from both the community as well as from the people we're currently working with, including our corporate partners, has helped us with our events and leaning more towards us being able to begin living more comfortably off of that. However, we're still in that gap between that reality where, we're no longer having to worry about a 9-to-5 paycheck, and where we're at now, which is us dealing with a situation that's causing us to lose income to our home.
So essentially the situation comes about like this, right? We've complained for months on end via email, in person, and I won't even say that we've complained. At first, we were informing them, and then eventually, I suppose, being that I wanted to avoid going upstairs and talking to this person directly, because at the point in which I felt like I needed to, I was already angry. My husband was tired. I was tired. He was consistently irritated. We couldn't have a conversation without that noise being in the middle of it. And it was, ironically, right now they're quiet. So they're probably not even home.
Yeah.
But
even with that, overnights, getting up early
yes,
in the morning, or being
it starts
late at night.
For them, it starts at 6 a.m., if not earlier, and goes throughout the day. And that's probably been in various videos I've recorded. It's probably been in a lot of the lives I've put up recently. Even my nephew was on live with me, and he was like, "Are they like this all the time?" And I said, "Yes, I really wish they would stop, but they are. Yes, I'm sorry, I can't tell them to stop." So this situation caused me to lose my job. That was the one thing that was going to actually supplement, not a good portion, but the rest of what we needed here. Thank God for the work that we do outside of 9 to 5s, because that has helped keep us afloat. Unfortunately, there was a month in which people had booked us and did not pay us, and that started an issue. But of course, we have flex. If you don't know what flex is, it's flex pay. They allow you to pay increments of your rent, which is fine. But what they don't tell you is if you're late by that third day, they don't. The front office will immediately put that late fee on, and you can't use flex, which is what happened. And from that, it was an avalanche. It was, they don't take partial payments. You can't pay this right now. We try to talk to them. No one's answering our questions. No one's talking to us about what's happening upstairs. No one's acknowledging that. I've told almost every person in that office that I've lost my job because it's noise that I told you I was going to lose my job about.
Yeah, we have emails on document about that.
Yes.
And I mentioned it specifically by stating that this noise, this continuance in the noise, we need to know if there was going to be some sort of solution, because the continued noise issues and it's excessive noise. And I made sure that we've had the courtesy officers come and listen, and we have audio recordings of it. He himself has gone up there. Mm-hmm. They've told him all kinds of stories that are not true about what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of was like, oh, well, they said they're just having moving furniture. And it's like, well, the same noise that happened 3 or 4 months ago and has been happening for 3 or 4 months straight, mm-hmm, is the same noise as tonight, and they're not moving furniture for 3 months straight.
But also, we've even explained this to the front office. They've retaliated. The neighbors upstairs, they've retaliated in passive-aggressive ways. So I had a pineapple plant that I kept near my, that was on the balcony. Kept it outside. And one day after we had sent the email and actually called up there to tell them that the noise is just, it's too much. Can you do something? I look outside and there's a blind spot in one of our cameras that I didn't realize until this day. I heard a knock at my window, which is next to the balcony. I didn't look. And then I came outside later to go water my plants, and my pineapple plant had been ripped up. And the way that it happened is you had to reach your hand through the balcony and actually through the balcony bars and pull it. And
to clarify, we live on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about an upstairs balcony. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a ground floor patio.
Mm-hmm. So, and these kids, of course, along with a few other kids, and they tend to throw things at the buildings. They're pretty, I won't say destructive, but they're kids and they don't really have any. There's no parameters of what's going to happen. There's no repercussions, mm-hmm, and so. Yeah. They started doing things like that, or
leaving the trash and the toys.
They would start allowing their children to throw trash down here. We still have trash on the balcony right now that I refuse to pick up because I didn't put it there, and I'm tired of picking up their trash. I have glass in my plants because they've dropped things that are glass, and it broke on our balcony.
And all of this started happening after one of the statements made by the upstairs neighbor, mm-hmm, where apparently we were on the porch actually filming us planting our garden. Actually, now I think about it.
Yeah.
And they looked through the slots in the wood that shows down to our balcony, and the lady immediately started talking about, oh, I thought he was supposed to work overnights. I thought he was supposed to be asleep during the day, and just being loud and aggressive about it. I mean, even the other day, her kids were throwing their football up against the side of the house or the side of the apartment unit and everything, and one of them hit our window, and I opened the door. I'd already mentioned on the camera, like, hey, please stop throwing the football. And the kid ignored that. But when I opened the door, his mom was like, oh, we'll see, now you hit their window, now they're going to call the cops, and instead of, dealing with all those other kids that are making noise. And it was very much letting us know that she's aggressively retaliating and does not care that we are, basically struggling because of what she's not regulating.
No.
But all of that's
care.
more personal than what we wanted to talk about.
It is personal.
Ultimately, we've tried to tell the front office, and we've documented and recorded and done everything we can, and they've gotten to the point where they've completely just ignored it.
And also, like, I suppose it with in good faith, it is very difficult to save money in this economy with one income. It is. It's virtually impossible. So, with us not being able to pay partial payments, you would think that we'd be able to save money. No, that's unfortunately not how that works. Not all the time, not in our situation or in the situation we've been in, where all the gigs that we have, being that it's summer, are in the end of summer, not the beginning. So that money that we will have is not here yet. And the time frame in which this whole thing happened there was a lot of things that happened financially for us. Between my car, the insurance rates that have unfortunately somehow gone up, and various other things we had to pay for that, of course, I can't list to you guys, but there's been a lot, along with us doing our community events, having our red carpet, having all this stuff that you've seen over the last few months. And they are all still blessings, definitely. But sometimes y'all don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about this, because right now, where we're at, and I know this sucks that I won't say that we waited, but what we did what I've always been taught to do is try as hard as you can, and if it doesn't work, ask for help. And that's what I've always been taught. And unfortunately for me, because I'm so stubborn on what can happen or can work, I will literally not wait till last minute, but I will be down to the wire. So how do I see? I have issues asking for help in the first place. So it's like, how do I?
That's right.
My first thought, I suppose, in this situation is, this is the only place in our living room, by the way, that we can actually stand in. Everything else is packing boxes and our things as we're packing up, because when we came back from our trip, we went to court under the understanding that we would be able to set up a payment plan. That's what we were told when we set the court date and everything. We're like, okay, we can set up a payment plan. This can work. This is possible, although we still need them to talk to them upstairs, but it is possible. Mm-hmm. Or rather, we have time. We did not. They gave us literally 7 days. And today is the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Yeah, today is the 5th. So
5th day, not 5th of the month.
Yes, the 5th day. We're moving our things into a storage unit, and we may need help doing that. We also may need help even getting ourselves into a hotel room for the week that give us a little bit of buffer space to figure out things, and also possibly get some of the gigs that we had sitting and waiting in motion. I found a hotel with the lowest rate that I could. Seems like I think I've stayed there once or twice, but either way, I don't know how to. I'm so used to doing things myself. It is hard for me to ask for help. Even with my family, I feel like crap asking for help most of the time, and it sucks in this situation because we did everything we could have. Mm-hmm. Literally everything. When I tell you we were up at the front office daily for a while, we were up trying to talk to them, sitting up there for hours, not even having meetings, just waiting for somebody to come out after we've told them a few times, and they've been told by a few people that we're waiting for them. Nothing. So to me now, it's like, well, I understand it's a sucky situation, and it is difficult, but at the same time, I can understand how I don't feel as afraid as I probably usually would in this situation. I feel like God's pushing us anyways. I feel like we're being pushed into the position that we're supposed to be in. And I think that there's growing pains that come with that. Mm-hmm. Especially when you try to hold on to something. And I think we did try to hold on to this place for a while. I got comfortable. I had my own space. I had my own office to work in, make content, and I started to fall into the bag my creative bag that I've been out of for a long time. And so, yeah.
And that's why when we ask for help, we're asking because we genuinely need it. Everybody sees all the stuff that we're doing, and again, we've talked about everything that we're working on, and we've talked about over the years why it's hard for us to ask for help, because every time we have shown any sign of needing help or potentially struggling, people have waited for us to look like we're bleeding to sensationalize it as if, oh, you guys were faking and shaking, you're not really who you are.
Yeah.
We know that there are going to be wolves. We know there are going to be sharks that are going to come when they see this video, and they're immediately going to start trying to get the rumor mill going. And I'm telling you right now, we are moving on what the Most High is telling us to move on, and those who are meant to help us will be blessed with the ability to help us. Those who are not meant to help us will be moved out of the way. But we're not in that energy of trying to beg people for things because we don't want to work or we're being lazy. We genuinely need the help, and we're going to continue to work forward on what we're doing because we know that we're being led to places to do things that haven't been done before.
But also, no one can take away our success. Mm-hmm. No one can take away the work that we've put in. No one can take away our name. They can't take away anything about us. So as simple as it is, they talked about Jesus and all he was doing was trying to help people. Mm-hmm. Not to say that I'm Jesus. I don't think that I am. But I know that you make yourself in his image. You do the work that you know that he would have done, and that's what we're doing. And so I don't worry so much about what people might say about us, because at the end of the day, I believe that we're being pushed into the next level. And if you can't understand that, that's okay. It's not for you to understand at this very moment. And don't be upset about it. I'm not upset about it. I think that
I'm learning to have that mindset. It's different because I've seen the damage, not just for me, but to other people. Mm-hmm. When people out there need help. Like I've talked to people from the Philippines, and yep. Part of their culture is, even if you really, really, really need it, it's like the idea of you asking for help is immediately considered to be disrespectful, disgraceful, mm-hmm. and it's because there's a culture of people who no one helped them, so therefore no one's allowed to help anyone.
Yeah, I feel you.
A lot of what we do is no one asked us to do what we did. We did it because we wanted to help, and we reciprocate that energy a lot. So we do appreciate those who do help us and have helped us and have been there with us and rocked out. Even if it's just sharing a word or whatever you've been able to give us, whether it's goods and things like that to help us, have food or some soap or something. And yes, the people who donated financially to help us throughout the years, we always tell you and show you that what you did was for a bigger purpose and a cause. We're not lining our pockets and going on trips and stuff like that. We genuinely are putting work in, and that film is a big example of everything we've been doing.
I know this is long. I might have to edit it in a way that it's not as long. Or not, I don't know. But I appreciate you for listening as long as you have. And also hearing us out, that everything is not as cut and dry and glamorous and, covered in golden speckles as it always seems. My husband and I are still blessed. Our life is still beautiful. We're still happy together. We're still doing the work that we wanted to do, regardless of the struggle. We've been doing that since day one. Mm-hmm. So this isn't anything new. The devil is always going to try and make something a lot harder. When God says move and you start to move and the devil puts a pebble in your step and now your foot hurts, keep walking. Keep walking, because when you keep your eyes focused on the Lord, when you keep your gaze focused on the goal, you're not going to stop, and nothing's going to stop you. Mm-hmm. You could be walking on glass, but then at the end of the day, you're where you want it to be. You're where you need to be, because in order to get to the next level, in order to grow, you have to go through some changes. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's almost like a metamorphosis.
Yes. And that's okay. That is completely okay. Well, I didn't mean to talk you guys' ears off, but I do love you and I appreciate you. And I thank you for whatever you may or may not be able to do, even kind words, advice, whatever. Money is good though. No, we really just want to make sure that you guys understand that we're still taking this well. It's a very difficult situation, especially since we only have 2 days, but we are still doing everything that we can to keep our spirits up because we had a blessing today, and I'll tell you guys about that later. But we did have a blessing, and it's more of the waiting game now. So we'll keep you updated.